Good evening. Welcome to the QCIS channel, where you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. My name is Leon Jones, and today I'm going to break away from the different subjects like construction and surveying that I've been talking about, and I want to get into the concept of engineering and engineering technology. Now, earlier, I did do a video on these same topics, but it seems to come around that you have a number of individuals who don't understand what engineering is or what engineering technology is. Now, if you look at both concepts, there is some overlap and there's some differences. But one thing that they both have in common with the overlap is they're both part of the engineering team. You're not going to be able to have one without the other. Now, from my point of view, the difference comes from academia. Engineering technology is relatively new. In fact, engineering, with the exception of civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and chemical engineering, which are the older branches, the rest of the branches are new. Now, engineering came from science because engineering is a science. It's a science that deals with chemistry, physics, and biology. And then the math just tests the theory. But when we get into engineering versus engineering technology, what do we really mean? Because when it comes to the workforce, if you get a 2-year degree in engineering technology, you're a technician. If you get a 4-year degree in engineering technology, you're a technologist. Now, if you get a 2-year degree in engineering, you're just a pre-engineering student. And if you get a 4-year degree in engineering, I call you an academic engineer. Now, why do I call you an academic engineer? Because basically, when it comes to engineers, many of them go on to get their big certification known as the PE. But regardless, when it comes to engineering and engineering technology, you have to understand that there are labs that you have to take, there's sciences you have to take, and there are maths you have to take. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get into engineering technologists versus engineer. What's the difference? I'm going to post this link at the bottom of my video, and this comes from Indeed. Now, again, let's break it down for you. So when we deal with engineering and engineering technology, it starts off like this. Engineers and engineering technologists are professionals responsible for building and creating processes and products that solve problems and can be found in several industries. While people in these occupations often work together, they have different skills and responsibilities that contribute to the success of a project. Now, of course, in this article that I got from Indeed, I'm going to discuss the differences between an engineer technologist and an engineer. Now, let's break it down. Let's go into it. What is an engineering technologist? Well, an engineering technologist, or some refer to them as a technologist, is a professional who physically builds what an engineer designs. They use parts and products to construct, maintain, and repair systems and equipment an engineer develops. Now, some technologists also help implement existing technology to solve a problem. Now, a technologist applies a fundamental understanding of math and engineering and uses strong practical skills to complete their work. They must be familiar with engineering principles and have experience with a range of technical skills. Now, a technologist will work in industries such as aerospace engineering, civil engineering, computer programming, electrical and electronics engineering, environmental engineering, engineering management, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, product manufacturing, and assembly. Now, let me break all those titles down and tell you what they really are. When they work within any of those fields at a 4-year institution, example, when you work in aerospace engineering, you're going to be a student who's majoring in aerospace engineering technology. For civil engineering, it's civil engineering technology. Now, what about computer programming? Well, basically, computer programming and electrical and electronics engineering go together, and you would become a computer engineering technology major. Electrical electronics engineering is known as EET, electrical and electronics engineering technology. Then you have environmental engineering technology. And you have industrial engineering technology, mechanical engineering technology. And when it comes to product manufacturing and assembly, we're going to go with manufacturing engineering. Now, with engineering technologists, there are also disciplines within the field that they're working in. Before I go back to engineering technology and more engineering, let's define what an engineer is. Well, an engineer is a professional who designs, analyzes, and invents different types of machines and data systems. They apply the understanding of math and science to research and design complex solutions to specific problems. So engineers work largely within theory as they develop new concepts and designs. Engineers typically work in a specialty niche. Here are some common types of engineers. Now, hear me on this, because it's going to go back to engineering technology, and this is going to show you how they relate to one another. Well, you have your aeronautical engineer, aerospace engineer, biomedical engineer, chemical engineer, civil engineer, computer engineer, electrical engineer, an environmental engineer, industrial engineer, and mechanical engineering. Now, stop and take a pause for a moment. Now, you just heard me define engineering technology. Now you've heard me define engineering. Now to break everything down into layman's terms. An engineering technologist, one who majors in engineering technology, applies the theory that an engineer researches, whereas an engineer actually uses math and science to come up with complex designs through technology. So in other words, engineering technologists utilize applications while engineers utilize theory. Now, in a number of cases, engineers and engineering technologists really do the same type of work. But academia differentiates itself because here's the difference when we talk about education. When we deal with engineering, their curriculum is calculus based and less lab based. And when we deal with engineering technology, it's more hands-on, more applied, and more algebra based. However, when it comes to college, an engineer major can always major in engineering technology, However, it doesn't work the same where an engineering technology major, because of an engineer, well, he or she cannot go into engineering because of the math. Now, here is where an engineering technology major can get into engineering. If an engineering technology major takes all the calculus-based courses that engineers take, he or she can go into engineering. In fact, when it comes into licensing, 38 out of 50 states allow engineering technology majors to take the FE and PE. Now, the work experience may be a little longer. Instead of it being 4 years, it's 6 years. But when it comes to engineering and engineering technology is accredited by 2 accreditation boards. One is ACME, and I believe it stands for accreditation for, it deals with applied engineering and management. You can't take the FE exam if you're accredited by ACME. You want ABET, Accreditation Board for Engineering Technology. But those are what we call programmatic accreditations. But generally, the overwork between an engineer and an engineering technologist is, if you like the hands-on, be an engineering technologist. If you like more of the research, be an engineering major. Now, here's some rumors I'm going to break down. It used to be that an engineering technology major cannot go into grad school. Wrong. They do have master's degrees in engineering technology. Yes, they do. In fact, a number of your engineering technology majors can go into engineering management or technology management. In my opinion, when you go get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, get a specialty on a bachelor's level and on a master's level. Look for some type of management. Management is very important because in the end, you want to be able to run your own firm or run a department. You don't always want to be an engineer. But you start at the bottom, you learn the concepts of an engineer and an engineering technology major. Again, in the workforce, you learn the concepts of what an engineer or an engineering technologist does. Also, there's nuclear engineering and petroleum engineering. You don't see too much nuclear engineering out there, or petroleum engineering, unless you go down to Texas. That's where a lot of your petroleum engineering is. But a lot of your engineering majors, they're breakoffs. Let me give you an example. If you look at environmental engineering, that's a breakoff of civil engineering, and you could say chemical engineering. Now, when we go into aerospace and aeronautical engineering, it's basically a breakoff of mechanical engineering. Industrial engineering is also a breakoff of mechanical engineering. You have gas and oil engineering at Penn State, which you can say goes into petroleum engineering, which could also be a breakoff of chemical engineering. You can also say that about nuclear engineering. Computer engineering is a breakoff of electrical engineering. As you know, they're the big four when it comes to engineering, with industrial engineering number 5. It's mechanical engineering, which is the broadest branch, followed by civil. Then you have electrical and chemical, and then industrial engineering. Now, industrial engineering is more or less a branch of engineering. You deal with the whole system instead of parts of a system. And you can also integrate business functions within industrial engineering. Now, what I want to get into is the technologist versus an engineer. So basically, engineers and technologists collaborate to solve a range of programs. In general, engineers design or conceptualize solutions, and technologists build or create the solution. But each position has different day-to-day responsibilities across a range of industries. Now, here are some similarities and differences between a technologist and an engineer. First, let's get into education. Both engineers and technologists must earn at least a bachelor's degree. However, the specifics of the degree programs vary. Engineering studies relate more to theory and design, while engineering technology studies focuses more on practical application and skills. Just like I said, practical, you use your hands. You implement what the engineer designs. Now, as a prospective engineer, you can expect a course load with high-level math classes and classes about pure sciences such as biology, chemistry, and physics. You'll likely complete several calculus courses and a course in differential equations. A coursework will include classes about design, concept creation, and critical and analytical thinking. The type of engineering you major in will determine what advanced courses you will take. Now, as an engineering technologist student, you will take courses in math, engineering, and survey sciences. Survey science courses relate to data collection, including methods, survey design, and interpretation. So the coursework will include algebra and pre-calculus courses, and you will learn essential engineering principles through fundamental courses. You will also complete courses related to practical application of skills and knowledge. And when you get into skills, the biggest difference between an engineer technologist and an engineer relates to hard skills. For example, a technologist needs strong practical application skills to construct designs. An engineer must have strong math skills to develop those complex designs. However, there are some skills that both positions require, and they include attention to detail, creativity, communication, problem solving, the ability to collaborate and work on a team, computer literacy, critical thinking, and of course, analytical thinking. And when it comes to job responsibilities, engineers are designers, while technologists are builders. So the primary responsibility of an engineer is to develop solutions and concepts, and the more an engineer understands design and hands-on, he or she will be a better engineer. That's my humble opinion. Now, the technologist, in turn, basically will turn the concept into an actual item. Now, a technologist can also be an engineer because remember, as I said before, technologists also take courses that are based with engineering concepts. In fact, the technologist can actually be a better engineer if the technologist does the same engineering courses as an engineer. Because basically, when you have engineers, you have an engineer, a technologist, and a technician. Now, the technician is a technologist who has a 2-year degree. They're the ones that are basically doing all the testing. So the engineering technologist who has a 4-year degree can do what the engineer does on the design level, and it can also do what the technician does on the technician level. So you are in a very good position if you are a technologist. Now, when it comes to an engineer, they can also do the same jobs as a technologist or a technician. It just depends on the company. Now, again, going back to what I said before, engineers are designers, technologists are builders. The primary responsibility of an engineer is to develop solutions and concepts, and the technologist turns the concept into an actual item. So engineers basically have more theoretical responsibilities, while technologists have more practical responsibilities. As engineers, exact job responsibilities vary based on the specific industry they work in. However, their overall responsibility is to analyze all aspects of an issue and develop an appropriate solution. This may include using computer software to design prototypes or concepts for the technologist to build. and a technologist's specific job responsibilities also vary by industry. However, the primary responsibility is to interpret the engineer's design and assemble it. Technologists may also be responsible for implementing exact technology, performing routine maintenance, and repairing systems or equipment. Now, who will the engineer and the technologist report to? Well, basically, engineers and engineering technologists work together closely on projects. Engineers may be the highest ranking member of a project, or they may report to a project manager. Technologists often report to engineers as they create the engineers' designs or ideas. Now, when it comes to industries, engineers and technologists both work in a variety of industries, and their roles may vary within those industries. Technologists may work in industries such as construction, industrial, manufacturing, maintenance, and management. Engineers may work in industries such as automotive, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, food processing, healthcare, construction, and aerospace. Now, when it comes to salary, the national average salary for an engineer is $61,369 per year, but it also varies by specialty, and it also varies by where you reside. For an example, an electrical engineer may earn $91,408 per year. Other factors include, again, location and the amount of experience. So basically, what I gave you could be a median salary, could be a beginning salary, or it could be a high salary. That just depends on your, again, your experience, your location, and your specialty. However, the national average for an engineering technologist is $55,458 per year. Possible earnings also vary by specialty, location, and experience. So again, if you want more salary information that's up to date, visit Indeed.com. And overall, going back, when it comes to engineering and engineering technologists, well, engineers and engineering technologists are professionals responsible for building and creating processes and products that solve problems, and they can be found in several industries. While people in these occupations often work together, they have different skills and responsibilities that contribute to success of a project. So basically, overall, so we get it right here, engineers focus more on the theory, whereas engineer technologists focus more on the application. Now, in the industries where they work, they do overlap, and there's some differences. Now, again, when it comes to licensing, to be an engineer, you must go to school and get a bachelor's of science degree in any engineering discipline, and the curriculum must be ABET accredited. ABET stands for Accrediting Board for Engineering and Technology. Now, to go even further, there's a sub accreditation that's known as EAC. It's EAC, which stands for Engineering Accrediting Commission. EAC. You have your 4-year degree that is EAC accredited. You can sit for your FE, and then your work experience, 4 years of work experience. After you pass your FE examination, you can sit down for your PE examination. That's your license. Now, for the technologist, it can be tricky, and it depends on the state. 38 out of 50 states allow college students who major in engineering technology to sit for the FE and PE as well, but they must have 6 years of experience. Now, this is on a bachelor's level. On an engineering level, if you have a master's, you need 3 years of experience. A doctorate, you need 2 years of experience. Now, when it comes to the engineering technologist, it's all up to the states. Many engineering technologists, if they go the technology route, there really isn't a doctorate or PhD in engineering technology. Now, you can utilize engineering technology for your dissertation. You can major in engineering technology as well as a master's degree. But if you want your FE and PE, take all of the engineering maths and sciences because they're calculus based as an engineering technology student. But in the end, it really isn't too much difference. Basically, engineers and engineering technologists, they overlap because in the end, both professions are sciences, and their job is to design and solve complex problems. And that concludes this video on engineering versus engineering technology. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are looking for political and social content, check out the 411 Talk Zone radio show channel, my main channel. Now, if you can't find the QCIS channel or the 411 Talk Zone radio show channel on YouTube, you can find both of those channels on Twitter. Now for the QCIS channel. Take it one step further since it is an educational channel. You can also find that channel for LinkedIn. Once again, thank you for viewing this content on the QCIS channel. On this channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening.